Shalom, welcome back. Alright, so we're working our way through the Rock of a Sure Foundation. We are up to chapter 10 in the Gospel of John, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. Most certainly I tell you, one who doesn't enter by the gate unto the sheepfold, but climbs up some other way, is a thief and a robber. But one who enters in by the gate, is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls to his own sheep by name and leads them out. Whenever he brings out his own sheep, he goes before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. They will by no means follow a stranger, but will flee from him, for they don't know the voice of strangers. Yeshua spoke this parable to them, but they didn't understand what he was telling them. So the sheep hear his voice. So there's the sheep hearing the shepherd. I don't have any hands-on experience with sheep. I've owned goats. There's a lot of parallels between sheep and goats, and I can tell you, I've seen videos of sheep, and sheep will actually follow the shepherd. They know the shepherd's voice. Another shepherd can call to them, and these sheep won't go to a shepherd they don't know. They go to the one that they know. So it's a pretty amazing thing. If you've ever watched, you can find videos on YouTube of sheep listening to the voice of the shepherd, and then ignoring someone making the same call. But if they don't recognize his voice, they won't come to him. So. Goats will go to whoever has feed, and if you don't have feed, they don't care about you. Like you can't get goats to follow you. You can't get goats to obey you. Like the only thing they understand is if you got some feed, they'll follow you just to get the feed. That's it. So yeah, there's when he starts comparing sheep and goats, like it's pretty obvious what the difference is. The sheep are the ones that obey. The goats are the ones that serve their own interest. That's really the easiest way to break down the difference between the two of them. So anyway, there's the sheep hearing the shepherd's voice. Yeshua therefore said to them again, most certainly I tell you, I am the sheep's gate. All who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep didn't listen to them. I am the gate. I am the gate. If anyone enters in by me, he will be saved and will go in and go out and will find pasture. The thief only comes to steal, sacrifice, and slaughter. I came that they may have life and have abundance. I actually got a picture of this one too. Look at there. There's Yeshua. He is the gate. And there's the sheepfold. And so, the one that climbs up another way is a thief and a robber. Probably has a dumb name like Paul. But yeah, that's this is kind of the illustration here that Yeshua's drawing for us. Also, this steal, sacrifice, and slaughter, usually is translated steal, kill, and destroy. Here's John 10:10. Steal, kill, destroy. But if we go to this word thuo, sacrifice, it's the word for sacrifice. So steal, sacrifice, and then destroy, it just means to kill or destroy. Perish, whatever. It's it does mean destroy. It also means to perish or to kill. So how would we translate this? Like this word kill, that's sacrifice. Right? So steal, sacrifice, and then slaughter. Like that to me seems like the most apropos word. So that's how we translated it. Steal, sacrifice, and slaughter. 3 S's. I thought it made it sound nice. But I came that they might have life and have it more abundance. And have abundance. So I don't know. To me, this really comes back to, so it's connected to the thief. The thief climbs up another way, and again, I made a comment about Paul. So, what is the thief? What kind of covenant does he promote? Well, the covenant of death. He says that we're baptized unto Yeshua's death. We're crucified with him, and we come into the covenant through his death. The covenant of death. It's like they talk about in Isaiah 28. But then you have the apostles and Yeshua giving you the covenant of life. I came that they may have life and have abundance. We're going to baptize you into a new life. 2 covenants. I would choose life. That's your cheat code there. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays his life down for the sheep. But the hireling, the false one, who doesn't own the flock, sees the wolf coming, leaves the sheep and flees. The wolf snatches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he's a hired hand and doesn't care for the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I know my own, and I'm known by my own. Even as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, I lay my life down for the sheep. I have other sheep which are not of this fold. I must bring them also, and they will hear my voice. They will become one flock with one shepherd. Therefore the Father loves me, because I lay down my life, that I may take it up again. No one takes it away from me, but I lay it down by myself. I have power to lay it down. I have power to take it again. I received this commandment from my Father. Therefore, a division arose among the Judeans because of these words. Many of them said, he has a demon and is insane. Why do you listen to him? Others said, these are not the sayings of one possessed by a demon. It isn't possible for a demon to open the eyes of the blind, is it? So I've commented on this before. There's this division that comes up. I think that the division is really between the Edomites and the Israelites. They're all called Judeans at this point in history. Josephus tells us that. The Edomites were kind of absorbed into Judea. Eventually they rose to positions of power for the most part. They were the primary people that were in the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the Edomites. The Israelites were more or less subjugated by this point. And so what is this division? I would say that the Edomites are the ones saying he's insane and has a demon, and the Israelites are the ones that sees him as a righteous man. It was the feast of Hanukkah at Jerusalem. It was winter, and Yeshua was walking in the temple on Solomon's porch. The Judeans therefore came around him and said to him, how long will you hold us in suspense? If you are the Messiah, tell us plainly. Yeshua answered them, I told you, and you don't believe. The works that I do in my Father's name, these testify about me. But you don't believe, because you are not of my sheep, as I told you. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. So here you are. You're his sheep, right? You're following, you hear his voice. You're looking for him. I give eternal life to them. They will not perish, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all. No one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one. So, is he saying they're the same person? I don't think so. I think he's saying that they're united in this mission. The Father, has given them to me, and is greater than all. The Father's greater than all. He's given them to him. I mean, these are two separate people. This doesn't mean that they're one and the same person. This means that they have the same goal, the same mission, the same desire to save these sheep. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. That means that they do what you tell them to. That doesn't mean that they just believe and are saved. Therefore the Judeans took up stones again to stone him. Yeshua answered them, I have shown you many good works for my Father. For which of these works do you stone me? The Judeans answered him, we don't stone you for a good work, but for blasphemy, because you being a man make yourself God. Yeshua answered them, isn't it written in your law? I said, you are gods? If he called them gods to whom the word of God came, and the scripture can't be broken, do you say of him who the Father sanctified and sent into the world, you blaspheme because I said I am the Son of God? If I don't do the works of my Father, don't follow me. But if I do them, Though you don't believe me, believe the works, that you may know and believe that the Father is in me, and I in the Father. They sought again to seize him, and he went out of their hand. He went away again beyond the Jordan into the place where John was baptizing at first, and he stayed there. Many came to him, and they said, John indeed did no sign, but everything that John said about this man is true. Many committed themselves unto him there. I don't know. I feel like there's something to comment on there. It's just not coming to me. Chapter 11. Now a certain man was sick, Lazarus from Bethany, of the village of Miriam and her sister Martha. It was that Miriam who had anointed the master with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. The sisters therefore sent him, saying, Master, behold, he for whom you have great affection is sick. But when Yeshua heard it, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that God's Son may be glorified by it. So now Yeshua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When therefore he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 days in the place where he was. Then after this he said to the disciples, Let's go to Judea again. The disciples asked him, Rabbi, the Judeans were just trying to stone you. Are you going there again? Yeshua answered, Aren't there 12 hours of daylight? If a man walks in the day, he doesn't stumble, because he sees the light of this world. But if a man walks in the night, he stumbles, because the light isn't in him. He said these things, and after that he said to them, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going so that I may awaken him out of sleep. The disciples therefore said, Master, if he's fallen asleep, he will recover. Yeshua had spoken of his death, but they thought he spoke of taking rest and sleep. So Yeshua said to them plainly then, Lazarus is dead. I'm glad for your sakes that I was not there, so that you may believe. Nevertheless, let's go to him. Thomas, therefore, who is called Didymus, or twin, said to his fellow disciples, Let's also go, that we may die with him. So when Yeshua came, he found that he had been in the tomb for 4 days already. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 15 stadia away. Many of the Judeans had joined the women around Martha and Miriam to console them concerning their brother. Then, when Martha heard that Yeshua was coming, she went and met him, but Miriam stayed in the house. Therefore Martha said to Yeshua, Master, if you would have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Even now, I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. Yeshua said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yeshua said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who keeps on obeying unto me will still live, even if he dies. Whoever lives and obeys unto me will never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, Master, I have come to believe that you are the Messiah, God's Son, he who comes into the world. When she had said this, she went away and called Miriam, her sister, secretly, saying, The teacher is here and calling you. When she heard this, she arose quickly and went out to him. Now Yeshua had not yet come into the village, but he was in the place where Martha met him. Then the Judeans who were with her in the house and were consoling her, when they saw Miriam, that she rose quickly and came out, and arose up quickly and went out, followed her, saying, She is going to the tomb to weep there. Therefore when Miriam came to where Yeshua was and saw him, she fell down at his feet and said to him, Master, if you would have been here, my brother wouldn't have died. When Yeshua therefore saw her weeping, and the Judeans weeping who came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, Where have you laid him? They told him, Master, come and see. And Yeshua wept. The Judeans therefore said, See how much affection he had for him. Some of them said, Couldn't this man who opened the eyes of him who was blind also kept this man from dying? Yeshua therefore, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. Now it was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Yeshua said, Take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him who was dead, said to him, Master, by this time there's a stench, for he has been dead 4 days. Yeshua said to her, "Didn't I tell you that if you should believe, you would see God's glory?" So they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was laying. Yeshua lifted his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and know that you always hear me. But because of the multitude standing around, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." He who was dead came out, bound hand and foot with wrappings, and his face was wrapped around with a cloth. Yeshua said to them, "Free him, and let him go." Therefore many of the Judeans who came to Miriam and saw what Yeshua did committed themselves unto him. But some of them went away to the Pharisees and told them the things which Yeshua had done. The chief priests, therefore, and the Pharisees gathered a council and said, "What are we doing? For this man does many signs. If we leave him alone like this, everyone will commit unto him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation." But a certain one of them, Caiaphas, being high priest that year, said to them, "You know nothing at all, nor do you consider that it is advantageous for you that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation not perish." Now he didn't say this from himself, but being a high priest that year, he prophesied that Yeshua would die for the nation, and not for the nation only, but that he might also gather together into one the children of God who are scattered abroad. So from that day forward they took counsel that they might put him to death. Yeshua therefore walked no more openly among the Judeans, but departed from there into the country near the wilderness, to a city called Ephraim. He stayed there with his disciples. Now the Passover in Judea was at hand. Many went up from the country to Jerusalem before Passover to purify themselves. Then they sought for Yeshua and spoke to one another as they stood in the temple, "What do you think? That he isn't coming to the feast at all?" Now the chief priests and the Pharisees also commanded that if anyone knew where he was, he should report it, that they might seize him. All right, so that brings us up to chapter 12. We'll pick that up next time. Shalom.